Again, trying a new angle. I can't tell what this camera's picking up. But hold on a second here. Okay. So first off, I want to say all praise to Yahweh in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of the great millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the prophets of doom. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also, shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel, Lord willing, I'm of that number. Okay, so as stated in the previous video, all right, we said, Lord willing, that we would include in this next video, all right, going through some examples of people receiving this mark of the beast, which is the micro C hip. So before we do this, that makes me think. Let's go ahead and get this fair use read. Even though we say that this goes for not only this video, not only all the previous videos, but all of the future videos. All right, fair use, just in case. All right, we have to reference a video. All right, or another piece of media. All right. So fair use disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All other rights and credit go directly to its rightful owners. No copyright infringement is intended. Fair use is a doctrine in the United States copyright law that allows for limited use of copyrighted material without requiring permission from the rights holders, such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, research, teaching, or scholarship. It provides for the legal, non-licensed citation or incorporation of copyrighted material in another author's work. Also, let me state that I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. All right, we're just going through the scriptures and the true meaning of these scriptures, all right, to show you what the Lord has left here on this earth for his people, okay, the Israelites, to obey. All right, he's given warnings and prophecies. All right, the Israelites being the bulk of the Israelites being in the so-called blacks, the so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans. Okay, but we are scattered into all nations. So that even means that even though we tell you that Esau is the self-called and so-called white man, okay, that some Israelites even look white. All right, that's why you can't judge by your eyes alone, and you definitely can't judge off of color. Okay, because there are many other melanated nations outside of Israel. So just because you are melanated doesn't mean you're an Israelite. And on top of that, even if you are an Israelite, that does not mean that you are going to receive salvation in these days, which is why it's very important to seek the Lord, okay, now. Let's go ahead and start there with Isaiah 55:6. All right, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. This is why these things are very important. All right, because there is a such time as too late. And little does the world know, salvation is not for everyone. It's not even for all Israelites in this time. All right. Isaiah 55 and 7. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord. This points to this speaking to Israelites. You have to be a part of something that you are going to return to. All right. So again, Isaiah 55 and 7, let the wicked forsake his way. Let the unrighteous man his thoughts, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord Yahweh, Bahoshim Yahushai, all right, and he will have mercy upon him unto our power, for he will abundantly pardon. That is the good news. He will abundantly pardon. All right. That doesn't mean the wicked can stay in his way. That doesn't mean the unrighteous man can keep on that same thought path, as it told you here. Okay. In Isaiah 55, 6 through 7. All right. What else were we going to do before we okay, let's go ahead and go to Revelation 13 and get a refresher. All right. Revelation 13 and 16 through 17 reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Just to go back to the other nations being melanated also, all right? I spoke of Israelites even looking like so-called white people, okay? Because that is what most of the world is worried about. You never hear them question if Israelites can look like Chinese or Japanese or, you know, any other nation. All right. We are scattered into all nations. It was a consequence of disobedience that you read in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, starting at the 15th verse on down, but especially the 64th verse. I'm pretty sure. Let me go here before, I don't want to guess at this. It's been a while. So Deuteronomy, the heading above the 15th verse reads, consequences of disobedience, as we stated before. Now in the 64th verse, it says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. So you can't disregard you can't judge with your eyes alone, right? We were scattered into all people. No matter what the people look like, what nation they are, we were scattered into all people. Israelites are amongst all people, but you cannot be an Israelite and an Edomite. You can be an Israelite and look like an Edomite. You can be an Israelite and look like a Moabite. You can be an Israelite and look like an Ammonite. You can be an Israelite and look like an Ishmaelite, but you can't be both. All right. You may think that you are that nation that you are amongst. A good clue is if you feel a pull towards the Lord's word, all right, which is this is who this is all about. It's about Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, not even ourselves. Okay. Israel, yes, plays a key part. This is who the Lord's message is to, but this is about Yahweh Shai and Yahweh. All right. But we were scattered into all nations. You can't be both an Israelite and an Edomite. You can't be both an Israelite and an Ishmaelite, or an Israelite and an Ammonite, or I mean, Israelite and Ammonite, Israelite and a Moabite. You are one or the other. And how do you know? It goes back through your fathers. Okay. And no one knows their whole history all the way back, but the scriptures give traits and characteristics in this time, especially of the remnant and the elect. All right, these are the people that are on. These are the only people that are paying attention and receiving the 100% truth of the scriptures. All right, sticking to solid doctrine. All right, so you can have a lot of the doctrine correct, but you can go off on key parts, or you can go off on little parts, which will lead to going off to key parts on key parts. The Lord's name is important. Knowing that He doesn't love everyone is important. Okay. All right. Knowing that He is not a blue-eyed, stringy-haired white dude is important. And the world will tell you that it's been agreeing that the Messiah, okay, He may not be white, and this is the whole world, even so-called white people. He may not be white, but He's Middle Eastern. All right. They're starting to agree that they lied. All right, but they're still covering it up with another lie because they cannot get it through their heads. They don't want to admit that the Lord, all right, looks like a so-called black man. He came from the tribe of Judah, all right, which are the so-called Negroes, all right. So I just wanted to touch on that again, okay. So now let's go ahead and read Revelation 13, verse 16 and 17 again. I know I just did it, but let's read it again. And He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So it is very key to pay attention to doctrine. Even people who know that they are Israelites teach false doctrines. All right, they teach that the mark of the beast. At one point, they were teaching that the mark of the beast is embargoes. At one point, they were teaching the mark of the beast is sin. At one point, they were teaching that the mark of the beast is sleeping with white women. How do you buy and sell with sleeping with white women? All right, the doctrine changes like the wind. All right, so it's important to pay attention to doctrine. Very important. All right, and you don't have to believe me, but the body that I learned from, all right, GMS and other brothers who may not have GMS on their name, but have the same doctrine. This is why it is important to listen and to take heed to doctrine. All right, because there is only one doctrine. All right, only one truth. So the he in Revelation 13 and 16 is Esau, Edom. All right, they run everything. Everything. Okay, who runs the police force? Which, listening to another brother's video, he brought up all these points. All right, there's so many points you can bring up. The police force. All right, the fire. All right, the fire departments, the governors, the presidents. Okay, everything. Okay, he is in power. This world is given into his hand, as we heard here in Job, as we read here in Job 9:24. All right, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? For example, admitting now that he lied about the covering that he had over the Messiah by painting him white. Okay, and now trying to say that, okay, he's not white, he's Middle Eastern, he's not a black man, he's Middle Eastern, all right? Lying their asses off. Now you may ask, when we read Job 9 and 24, it didn't mention Esau, Edom. So how do we know that he is the wicked? If you go to Malachi 1 and 4, it says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. All right, does this mean that Israelites and all these other nations cannot be wicked? No, that does not mean that, but they are the wicked. As a matter of fact, the scriptures mention somewhere that we can be even more wicked than the wicked, but they are designated as the wicked. Who designated them? Who gave them the power to do all this wickedness? The Lord did. Okay? For a reason. All right? It's for the ones that he loved to learn their lesson. All right, we fell away from the Lord, started going, falling into the congregation of the dead, wandering out of the way of understanding, wandering out of the ways of the Lord. Okay, that's what this whole thing that we call life, okay, has been about. Our fall and our subsequent rise, and the ones who brought us up out of our fall, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right, taught us a really good lesson, man. All right, these things had to play out this way, and they are still increasingly getting worse. All right, Jacob's trouble is on the way. So a lot of you Israelites don't want to hear that, because you hear what the world told you about the Lord. You hear that the Lord is all love. What does that mean? All right, who brought the flood onto the world? All right, who's bringing another flood, not of water, but of fire? Who's doing that? Let's get a verse really quick. This is Deuteronomy 32, and I'm going to start at 38, I believe. No, not 38. I'll read 39 to get to the point. It says, "See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me, or no God with me." It says, "I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." Okay, so this is the Lord who did all these things. Let's see if we can grab some more scriptures that point to this also. Hold on a second. 1 Samuel 2 and 6. Listen to this. "The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up." Okay? Man. All right. Also, let me get something else really quick here. Uh this might be in the Apocrypha, so give me no. It is. It's here. Hebrews 10 and 31. "It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God." And why would it be fearful? If the Lord is all love and He, you know, doesn't kill, doesn't do all the things that we tell you that He does. He kills, He heals, okay? He taketh away, all right? Why would it be a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power? All right, all Christianity does, and these other beliefs, it just leads to more questions. It leads you out of the way of understanding. It keeps you in the congregation of the dead. Okay. All right, so let's go. Let's go back here to Revelation 13. Okay. So, "and he," which is Esau Edom, "causeth all." All right. We talked about it in the previous video about how Esau is going to uh, cause a problem to garner a solution. To garner a certain reaction, and then present their solution that they had. That's where they started. Right, they have their plan ready. They just need to go ahead and cause the problems to get you to ask for it, basically. Okay, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. This mark is the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the micro C-hip. Right, and that no man might buy or sell. If you don't receive this thing, you're not going to be able to participate in society as you know it, which means no food, no shelter, no clothing. All right, so let's go ahead and get some videos and maybe check comments of these videos and see what's on people's minds. Now, in some of these comments, you may say, or you may hear that some of these people are considering the scriptures, and I'm not a betting man, but I would say most of these people that consider the word of the Lord aren't even Israelites. All right, not to say that all of them aren't Israelites, but the Lord's people are Sodish. He calls us Sodish. Right? He called us Sodish, which goes back to stupid. He called us that for a reason. All right. Who else would turn away from a power like Yahweh, and then subsequently not listen to the words of Yahweh Shai? All right, but stupid people. All right, but some of these comments, again, they will reference the scriptures, and for the most part, it's probably not Israelites. So, give me a second here. Let me turn this camera. All right, let's see here. It's just talking about. This is 5 days ago. Let's check this out.
In biological systems, technology, the future of microchips. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating topics in technology, the future of microchips. These tiny devices are becoming smaller, faster, and even powerful enough to be integrated inside the human body. From enhancing medical treatments to boosting brain functions, microchips are reshaping how humans and machines connect. Stay tuned as we explore how this technology could change our future forever. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tech insights. Number 5. Shrinking power. Microchips are undergoing a revolution in miniaturization, packing more transistors into smaller spaces than ever before. This shrinking power has allowed devices to become slimmer, lighter, and more efficient while maintaining high performance. From smartphones to wearables, smaller chips are enabling advanced features that were once limited to bulky machines. Nanotechnology plays a key role in the... Welcome back to the channel.
Oh, man.
Today, we're
they mentioned wearables there, so let me see. Let me open up another window here. Another YouTube window. And let's ask about Kennedy and wearables. Let's see, because this is what they're pushing. All right, so listen to this.
We're about to launch one of the biggest advertising campaigns in HHS history to encourage Americans to use wearables. It's a way of people can take control of their own health. They can take responsibility. They can see, as you know, what food is doing to their glucose levels, their heart rates, and a number of other metrics as they eat it. And they can begin to make good judgments about the...
All right, so they're going to have different ways to get you to ask for this thing, all right, to get you to think that it's a very good idea. A lot of things are going to sound good when it comes to this micro C-hip. But the one thing that you won't hear in these videos, for the most part, is they will not consider... we spoke about the comments earlier, so now I'm just talking about the videos themselves. They will not consider what the scriptures say. All right.
Their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the Maha agenda, making America healthy again. And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years. We're about to launch one of the biggest.
All right. And all the wearable is just a step closer to getting this micro C-hip in your body. All right. That's all that is. Let me find the, type this back in. Oh, never mind. There's a whole different page. So let's go to another video. All right, let's go to another video. Let's see what this is.
In 2021, scientists took a leap once imagined only in science fiction. They implanted a tiny wireless chip into the human brain. No cables, no external machinery, just thought. By 2023, patients were doing the impossible, moving a computer cursor with pure intention. Their brainwaves translated instantly into digital action. For the first time, mind and machine worked together freely, silently, across the air. A breakthrough that didn't just restore movement, it rewrote the future of human connection with technology. The era of wireless thought had begun. In 2021, scientists took a leap once imagined.
A lot of people are going to get this because they want to be on the leading edge of technology, the cutting edge of technology. All right, just for something to do. All right, they want to be different than people and put something in their body. You know, that's going to get a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of.
In 2021, scientists took a leap.
There's going to be a lot of reasons that the world, all right, especially the people who are not taking heed to these warnings, there's going to be a lot of reasons of why they get this thing. All right, let's see what else we got here. I really wanted to, let's look at this.
A baby is born. The doctor doesn't hand the child to the mother. Instead, a mandatory microchip injection. No choice, no consent, no exceptions. The baby receives a number before a name. Welcome to Humanity 2.0. The government calls it progress. It's for safety, for convenience, for the children. Your child goes missing.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. If I didn't mention it in the last video, all right, it's been mentioned in videos before that they're going to try to get a lot of people with convenience, peace, and safety. Speaking of this chipping at birth, we went over what's going on over in Kenya, I believe, with this whole chipping babies. Let's look this up really quick. Oops. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second here. All right. Is Kenya moving towards chipping babies at birth? Let's see what it says here. All right, it says no, but hold on a second here. Let's see. It says no up here. It says no. The the Kenyan government is not planning to implant microchips into newborn babies. Claims suggesting this are false and have been widely debunked by fact-checking organizations. Who runs the fact-checking organizations? The rumors stem from the rollout of Kenya's new digital identity system known as Maisha Namba, Swahili for life number, and unrelated comments made by Bill Gates in 2015. All right. Key facts about the situation. Digital ID system. Kenya is modernizing its national ID system to a digital format. As part of this, babies are assigned a unique registration number, the Maisha Namba at birth, which will be used throughout their lives and translate into a national ID card when they turn 18. Sounds like our social security number over here in the U.S. There's no implants. The system involves digital and physical ID cards, but no form of physical implants or micro C-hips in bodies. Biometric technology for vaccination. It says separately, a pilot program has introduced a new biometric-based vaccination tracking system for newborns in some areas. This uses fingerprint identification for the babies and voice recognition for caregivers to manage vaccination histories, ensuring children receive appropriate vaccines. The system also does not involve implants. So I jumped the gun with the implant thing. That's because that's where my mind is. But you tell me that this is not a step towards that. Excuse me. They'll deny it. But remember, we are baby stepping towards this mandatory micro C-hip. All right. It says in the scripture. We just read that. All right. So no matter what they say is not in the works now, this is coming. All right. They're just setting up the infrastructure. Okay. So maybe I jumped the gun with it. Maybe they're right about saying no. Okay. At this time. All right. They're saying no at this time, but this is headed there, man. Okay. The whole earth is headed here. All right. So let's go back here and look at some more videos. All right, here's another reason why some want to get this thing just to be able to do this. You know, separate yourself from the Lord just to be able to open a cooler, right?
Payment successful. Your balance is €8.9.
Foolish, man. Foolish. Who knows? He could be an Israelite, could not be. But these are the things that's going to get people, man. Little simple shit like this. Under the skin. Sweden's micro C-hip advanced living. Let's see what this is.
In Sweden, over 6,000 people have implanted tiny microchips under their skin, creating digital ID systems. These chips store personal information and enable functions like unlocking doors and making payments using near-field communication NFC.
All right, buying and selling. Payments, right?
Technology. While many see this as a practical step toward a wallet-free future, critics raise concerns about privacy and data security. The debate continues over whether this innovation is beneficial or risky. For many Swedes, this microchip trend represents a blend of human identity and digital convenience.
All right, Technifire. Hey. I like how it's named that, Technifire, because that's where this chip is going to get you, in the fire. All right, and this time went by quick. I did a lot of talking at the beginning. Lord willing, we'll come right back and look at some more of these videos. All right, but with that, I hope this came through as sincere and edifying. All right, and all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kwadash. All right, double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone. otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the Prophets of Doom. As a matter of fact, if you get this CHIP, all right, this is what you're going to look forward to. Doom. Prophets of Doom. Remember, we went over prophecy, all right, to say or speak before. And this is what's coming. All right, a lot of you out there don't have this CHIP yet. It's not been made mandatory yet, but this is what is coming. This is why we say prophets of doom. All right, what is doom? Death, destruction, or some other terrible fate. All right, so now you understand why we call our teachers, or why we are prophets of doom. All right, we stand as accused when it comes to that. Okay, a lot of you people that have doom in your future are going to figure this out sooner or later. All right, in the end, it shall speak. Anyway, also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number. And Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.